For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On an evening in 2005, 36-year-old Dr. Camila Esteves left her research camp high in the Apurímac region of the Peruvian Andes to verify ancient alignments at dusk. She never returned. Despite an immediate and extensive search, Dr. Esteves vanished without a trace, swallowed by the treacherous mountain landscape. For 20 agonizing years, her family and colleagues lived with chilling uncertainty, haunted by her inexplicable disappearance. Then in 2025, a startling discovery was made deep within an ancient burial tower, a sealed leather-bound journal. This is the complete investigation into what happened to Dr. Camila Esteves and the centuries-old secrets it finally revealed. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy this content, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now let's continue. In the rugged, high-altitude expanse of Peru's Apurímac region, a landscape dotted with the ancient burial towers known as chulpas, Dr. Camila Esteves pursued her life's work. It was the year 2005, and at 36 years old, Dr. Esteves had already established herself as a dedicated and highly respected Andean archaeologist. Her passion for the intricate cultures of ancient Peru was matched only by her meticulous approach to uncovering their secrets, particularly their sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics. Her contributions to the field were significant, shedding new light on the architectural and astronomical precision embedded within these remote structures. For weeks, the expedition had been immersed in the silent grandeur of the Chulpa field, meticulously documenting and analyzing its secrets. Dr. Esteves' specific research during this period focused on the precise celestial alignments of several key towers. She believed these alignments held crucial insights into the cosmology and calendar systems of the pre-Incan peoples. On a particular evening, as the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the desolate terrain and painting the peaks in hues of orange and purple, Dr. Esteves made a decision that would forever alter the course of her story. She informed her team of her intention to leave the main camp, a collection of tents nestled among the ancient stones, to verify a series of critical alignments before the fading light made accurate observation impossible. Her Quechua guide, Nico Huaman, observed her as she gathered her instruments, a familiar sight after weeks in the field. There was a brief exchange, perhaps a final confirmation of her intended route, before she walked away, a solitary figure against the deepening twilight, heading towards a cluster of chulpas on a distant ridge. As the last vestiges of daylight bled from the sky and the sharp chill of the Andean night began to settle, Dr. Esteves did not return. Initial concern among the small team quickly escalated to alarm. The vastness of the Apurímac highlands was unforgiving, its beauty masking a multitude of hazards. The air grew colder, and the silence of the mountains seemed to deepen. Hours turned into an agonizing wait, each passing moment amplifying the unspoken fears. The flickering camp lanterns cast an increasingly anxious glow over the faces of her colleagues and the stoic Nico Huaman. The stark realization began to dawn upon them. Something had gone terribly, irrevocably wrong in the silent ancient landscape. A respected archaeologist, dedicated to understanding the past, had vanished without a trace into its profound mystery. The immediate aftermath of Dr. Esteves' non-return plunged the small archaeological camp into a frantic state of mobilization. With the first slivers of genuine alarm, Quechua guide Nico Huaman, whose knowledge of the treacherous Apurímac terrain was unparalleled, took charge. Lanterns were lit, headlamps activated, and the team fanned out into the encroaching darkness. Their initial efforts focused on the camp perimeter and the most probable routes Dr. Esteves might have taken, but the deteriorating light, combined with the rugged, high-altitude environment, made the search agonizingly difficult. Every shadow seemed to conceal a clue, every rustle of wind a potential sound, yet nothing definitive emerged. The exhaustive, desperate search around the Chulpa field and along anticipated paths yielded no footprints, no discarded equipment, no sign of her passage. As dawn broke, painting the peaks in a cruel imitation of the previous evening's beauty, the scale of the problem became terrifyingly clear. News of Dr. Esteves' disappearance quickly reached the nearest authorities. Park Warden Roxana Quispe, a figure representing the local conservation and security forces, swiftly initiated an official search operation. Her team, augmented by local volunteers and additional resources, began to systematically comb larger sections of the vast Apurimac region. The initial theories explored a range of possibilities. Had she simply become disoriented and lost in the labyrinthine landscape, or had she suffered an accident, perhaps a fall or exposure to the extreme elements? The remote nature of the area also raised the specter of foul play, though no evidence ever surfaced to support such a grim conclusion. Despite the concerted efforts of multiple search parties, the unforgiving immensity of the Apurimac highlands proved to be the ultimate adversary. The rugged canyons, hidden ravines, and countless ancient structures offered an infinite number of places for a person to vanish without a trace. Day after day, the search continued, expanding its radius, meticulously checking every crevice and ridge. Yet, Dr. Camila Esteves remained undiscovered. No personal belongings, no torn fabric, no definitive footprints were ever found. The comprehensive search, despite its scale and the dedication of all involved, eventually exhausted every lead. The case, within weeks, began its inexorable slide towards becoming an unsolved enigma, a cold file in the vast archives of Andean mysteries. The relentless, intensive search for Dr. Camila Esteves eventually exhausted all viable leads and available resources. Weeks bled into months, each passing day diminishing the slim hope of finding her alive, or even finding any trace of her fate. The unanswered questions became a heavy burden for everyone involved. For her colleagues who had shared the isolation and intellectual pursuit in the Chulpa field, the disappearance was a profound shock, leaving a void filled with guilt and speculation. For the local Quechua community, who held a deep respect for the mountains and their secrets, it was a tragedy that underscored the unforgiving nature of the high Andes. And for any family Dr. Esteves may have had, the silence was an agonizing form of grief, a life suspended without resolution. The difficulty of accepting a complete vanishing in such a remote yet seemingly thoroughly searched area weighed heavily on the minds of investigators and loved ones alike. After nearly 3 months of dedicated but fruitless effort, the official search operation, spearheaded by Park Warden Roxana Quispe, was inevitably scaled back. The vastness of the Apurimac region, combined with the complete lack of physical evidence, rendered further active searching unsustainable. The case of Dr. Camila Esteves was formally classified as cold, a perplexing missing persons file in the annals of Peruvian law enforcement. It joined a long list of enigmas, a human story swallowed by one of the world's most ancient and mysterious landscapes. The official closure of active efforts did little to quell the gnawing uncertainty or the persistent questions that lingered in the minds of those who knew her. Then 2 decades of silence descended upon the case. The year 2005 faded into memory, replaced by 2015, then 2025. The Chulpa field, once the vibrant site of an archaeological expedition, returned to its timeless vigil, its ancient stones standing as silent witnesses to an unsolved enigma. Dr. Esteves's disappearance evolved from a news item into a local legend, a cautionary tale whispered among guides and villagers about the mountain's power to claim those who ventured too far. For 20 years, the mystery endured, a source of perpetual grief for those who mourned her, and an unsettling puzzle for anyone who remembered the dedicated archaeologist swallowed by the vast, indifferent Andes. The world moved on, but the question of Camila Esteves's fate remained, frozen in time, waiting for an answer that seemed destined never to arrive. 2 decades had passed since the disappearance of Dr. Camila Esteves, the year now 2025. The Chulpa field in Apurimac, though still remote and sparsely visited, continued to be a site of archaeological interest, periodically requiring maintenance or hosting new, smaller research teams. It was during one such routine survey, conducted by a local conservation crew ensuring the integrity of the ancient burial towers, that the first crack in the 20-year-old mystery appeared. The team, meticulously inspecting the interior of a particularly well-preserved Chulpa, noticed an anomaly. Tucked away within a small, almost imperceptible niche in the tower's dry stone wall, sealed with a hardened clay cap, was an object that did not immediately resemble the typical funerary offerings found in such structures. With careful hands, the crew leader, a seasoned park ranger, began the delicate process of extraction. The object was a ceramic tube, approximately 30 centimeters in length and 10 in diameter, its surface smooth and unadorned. It was sealed with remarkable precision, suggesting deliberate intent rather than accidental concealment. Once safely removed from its ancient hiding place, the tube was transported to a secure facility for further examination. The anticipation was palpable as experts, including the renowned epigrapher Dr. Sloane Avery, were called in. They carefully broke the clay seal, revealing not an ancient scroll or a collection of ceremonial artifacts, but something entirely unexpected. Nestled within the ceramic tube, perfectly preserved from the ravages of time and the elements, lay a leather-bound journal. Its pages, though slightly discolored at the edges, appeared remarkably intact. Initial reactions swung between awe at the find and profound curiosity regarding its origin. Was this an ancient text, a rare discovery from the pre-Incan inhabitants, or something more recent, perhaps left by a past explorer? The journal's binding and the quality of its paper seemed to hint at a more modern provenance. Dr. Avery, with her expert eye, immediately recognized the potential significance. The style of the writing, barely visible through the transparent protective layers, and the nature of the sketches within, even without full decipherment, raised immediate questions. The very act of its careful sealing and placement within an ancient tomb suggested a deliberate, almost desperate attempt at preservation. A dawning realization began to spread among the specialists. This was no ancient artifact. This was a contemporary object, and the possibility, however remote, that it might be linked to the long-vanished Dr. Camila Estevez was suddenly undeniable. The initial suspicions regarding the journal's provenance were swiftly confirmed. Dr. Sloane Avery, an epigrapher renowned for her meticulous approach to ancient texts and modern ephemera alike, led the authentication process. Within days, she and her team of experts definitively identified the distinctive handwriting and specific field notations as belonging to Dr. Camila Estevez. The leather-bound pages, filled with detailed observations and personal reflections, were undeniably hers. After 2 decades of silence, the first tangible link to the vanished archaeologist had finally emerged from the depths of an ancient tomb, transforming a cold case into a renewed, urgent investigation. The significance of this discovery was immense, breathing new life into a mystery long thought unsolvable and instilling a powerful, shared sense of purpose among investigators and archaeologists alike. The journal instantly became the singular, most critical piece of evidence. Its examination transcended simple reading. It became a forensic undertaking of unprecedented scale. Every aspect of the artifact underwent intense scrutiny: the quality of the leather binding, the specific paper type, the chemical composition of the ink, and crucially, any external contaminants trapped within its pages or between its leaves. Dr. Avery meticulously documented each page, carefully preserving its fragile state while simultaneously beginning the arduous task of interpretation. She worked alongside a multidisciplinary team that included forensic scientists, paleobotanists, and geologists, each specialist bringing a unique set of skills to the task of extracting every possible clue, no matter how minute, from the preserved artifact. Preliminary interpretation of the journal revealed a rich tapestry of Dr. Estevez's final days. It contained not only her detailed research notes on the celestial alignments of the chulpas and observational sketches of the surrounding terrain, but also, at times, more personal entries reflecting her thoughts and observations about the expedition and the landscape. These fragments of information, though not yet fully pieced together, offered tantalizing glimpses into her state of mind and her movements leading up to the moment she vanished. The challenge of synthesizing these disparate elements was immense, requiring both the delicate touch of an archaeologist and the precision of modern forensic science. The multidisciplinary team worked around the clock, driven by the shared purpose of finally understanding what happened to Dr. Camila Estevez, whose final testament had been sealed in clay and hidden by time. The breakthrough in the 2-decade-old mystery hinged on the meticulous scientific analysis of micro-evidence. While Dr. Sloane Avery painstakingly deciphered the written entries and detailed sketches within the journal, forensic scientists turned their attention to the unseen world trapped within its pages. Using advanced techniques, experts meticulously collected and analyzed ancient dust particles and pollen grains that had settled on the paper and become lodged within the binding. Palynologists, specialists in the study of pollen, alongside forensic geologists, were able to identify not only the types of vegetation present in the Apurimac region 2 decades prior, but, more critically, to date these minute samples. The astonishing finding was that the dust and pollen conclusively pointed to a very specific windstorm window, a period of intense atmospheric activity and high winds that had swept through the highlands during the autumn of 2005. Concurrently, Dr. Avery's work on the journal's numerous sketch maps began to yield its own vital clues. Dr. Estevez, ever the precise field archaeologist, had meticulously charted various topographical features and potential routes through the treacherous Chulpa field. Among these detailed drawings, one particular map stood out. It depicted a highly challenging section of terrain, annotated by Dr. Estevez as a cornice-trimmed traverse, a precarious mountain path characterized by overhanging ledges of rock and ice known to be unstable. Her notes indicated an intention to investigate its ancient significance, perhaps in relation to further celestial alignments during her final hours. The crucial connection materialized when these 2 disparate lines of inquiry converged. The windstorm window, precisely dated by the forensic analysis of the journal's micro-evidence, was correlated with historical meteorological data for the Apurimac region. This data, combined with local geological records, confirmed that the windstorm had indeed created conditions ripe for significant erosion and rockfalls. More critically, local reports and geological surveys from 2005 indicated that the cornice-trimmed traverse identified in Camilla's journal had suffered a catastrophic collapse during the very same week Dr. Estevez vanished. The powerful winds had weakened the already unstable formations, leading to a massive rockfall. Dr. Estevez, pursuing her research with characteristic dedication, had evidently been exploring that exact, now collapsed traverse at the moment disaster struck. This confluence of scientific dating, detailed cartography, and historical records provided a powerful, scientifically backed hypothesis for her disappearance, finally lifting the veil on 2 decades of silence. The combined evidence from the dust and pollen analysis, which precisely dated the windstorm, and Dr. Estevez's meticulously detailed sketch maps, which highlighted the cornice-trimmed traverse, provided an unprecedented level of specificity for a new search. For the first time in 20 years, investigators had a highly focused area, a precise geographic pinpoint in the vast Apurimac highlands where the truth might lie. A new expedition, comprising experienced search and rescue personnel, geologists and archaeologists, including Nico Huaman and Roxana Quispe, was swiftly launched, their efforts concentrated solely on the collapsed section of the traverse identified in the journal. The hope, though still fragile, was palpable. The search was arduous, demanding expertise in navigating the now altered landscape. The powerful windstorm and subsequent collapse had reshaped the traverse, making it even more treacherous than Dr. Estevez had described. Yet, armed with her maps and the forensic timeline, the team pressed on. After days of meticulous work, sifting through tons of rock and debris, their perseverance was rewarded. Deep within the collapsed section, partially buried under ancient earth and rockfall, the remains of Dr. Camila Estevez were finally discovered. Alongside her, remarkably preserved, were her field pack and several of her archaeological instruments, silent testaments to her final moments. Forensic examination confirmed the cause of death was consistent with massive trauma from the rockfall, aligning perfectly with the journal's silent testimony and the geological evidence. The mystery, after 2 long decades, was at last solved. The resolution brought a complex mix of grief and closure. For Nico Huaman, who had led the initial desperate searches, and for Park Warden Roxana Quispe, who had overseen the cold case for years, there was a profound sense of peace. The haunting uncertainty had finally given way to truth. Dr. Estevez's dedication to her work, her unwavering pursuit of knowledge, had literally led her to her final resting place, caught in the act of discovery. The journal itself, more than just a clue, emerged as a poignant final piece of her archaeological legacy, a testament to her brilliance and her enduring spirit. It spoke not only of her final moments, but also of the profound beauty and unforgiving power of the Andean landscape she so deeply revered. The case of Dr. Camila Esteves underscored the enduring power of scientific investigation, the relentless human drive to uncover truth, and the quiet dignity of a life lived in passionate pursuit of understanding the ancient world, even when that pursuit led to its own profound mystery.